Okay, so let's delve into something that, honestly, it challenges pretty much everything we think we know about the future.
Right.
Imagine hearing someone quite confidently say that the whole idea of humans dying naturally, that might only have like 15 to 20 years left.
It's a massive claim.
It really is. And that's the proposition from Dr. Mike Israetel. Now, he's, widely known in sports science, fitness.
Yeah, the bodybuilding world, huge channel.
Exactly. But here, he's connecting that idea directly to the rise of AI superintelligence, ASI, and, well, radical biotech stuff, too. It sounds almost unbelievable, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And that's really why we wanted to do this deep dive today. Our goal, our mission, if you like, is to explore this central idea that humanity is, well, maybe right on the brink of a huge cognitive leap, like evolution, but
The
different.
cognitive evolutionary leap. Wow.
Yeah. And the core argument Dr. Mike is making is that most people just don't get how incredibly close we might be to machines that are genuinely, meaningfully smarter than us.
That's a key distinction, isn't it? Meaningfully smarter.
Crucial.
So the source material for this exploration, it comes from an article called AI Superintelligence and Human Extinction, Dr. Mike Israetel.
Right.
And it's based on a discussion where Dr. Israetel, who, again, you might know from his fitness YouTube stuff, really steps outside that zone. He's tackling the philosophy, the tech, the practical side of ASI.
And what he talks about is, frankly, fascinating. We're going to unpack what artificial superintelligence actually means
Okay.
and look into the technical bits that maybe surprisingly seem to be mostly already here. It's not being pitched as some distant sci-fi thing.
No, it sounds much more like potentially imminent.
Exactly, potentially imminent reality.
Which really shifts it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Moves it out of just, movies and books. So get ready, because we're going to explore what this could mean for how we live, how we learn, maybe even how we think about our own smarts.
Yeah, let's jump in. Let's see what's really under the hood here.
Okay.
So first off, the article makes a really important point. Today's AI, not ASI, not yet.
Right. Important distinction.
But the argument is it can become ASI using methods we basically already understand. And this future ASI, according to Dr. Mike, it'll be way, way faster than human thinking.
Orders of magnitude faster, I gather.
Oh, yeah. And capable of deep recursive reasoning, which means, like, it can think about its own thinking.
Metacognition, almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It can refine its ideas super fast, spot flaws in its own logic, iterate on solutions at a speed we can't match
It's
it.
not even close.
And crucially, it will be able to self-prompt, like ask itself questions and update its own internal weights. The millions of tiny adjustments that define how it works.
Okay, self-prompting and self-updating, that sounds powerful.
Extremely.
There was one bit in the article that really jumped out at me, Dr. Mike's explanation of exponential intelligence. He suggests that if you just let a large language model run these continuous recursive thought loops, like an internal monologue, sort of constantly reflecting for just 10 hours,
Yeah.
that could be equivalent to years of human-level thinking.
10 hours equals years. It's hard to even process that.
It really is. It's not just about speed, is it? It's about this concentrated, deep problem-solving and self-correction, compressing years of human study and reflection into hours.
That's the profound takeaway, I think. It's not just faster information processing, it's potentially a whole new way of knowing,
Yeah.
a new mode of cognition developing right in front of us.
Fundamentally reshaping how knowledge itself is acquired.
Exactly. And what's also compelling is this idea of autonomy in its reasoning. A model that prompts itself, iterates constantly.
Right.
It can explore problems so deeply. It's not just waiting for us to type something in.
Right.
It stays kind of awake in its own latent imagination space.
Right.
You can picture it like a continuous internal brainstorm, processing ideas without needing direct human input.
Latent imagination space.
Yeah. And over time, this lets it generate genuinely new insights, things far beyond what it was initially programmed with. It can figure things out.
So, okay, it's like giving a super smart mind a quiet room and endless notebooks. But it works, 10,000 times faster? And it's constantly refining how it even thinks.
That's a good way to put it. That analogy really hits home the speed difference, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It highlights the sheer scale we're talking about.
And it's not just speed. Another huge leap is self-modification.
Okay, what does that entail exactly?
Well, most AI today, once it's trained, it's pretty much static, right? It doesn't fundamentally change its structure.
Right, it learns, but the core stays the same.
Exactly. But the future he's describing involves models dynamically changing their own internal structure while they're being used,
Yeah.
not just in some separate training phase beforehand.
Whoa. Okay, that's different.
It's huge. This isn't just AI getting smarter. It's AI potentially becoming a self-evolving entity.
A self-evolving entity.
Yeah. The core insight there is we might be moving from just using a tool to, like, coexisting with an intelligence that's constantly adapting, constantly refining its understanding in real time.
Which could make our static human knowledge potentially obsolete, or at least constantly playing catch-up.
That's the implication. If it's fundamentally changing its own framework for understanding on the fly, well, what are the practical implications for us? How do we interact with that?
Yeah, it's almost dizzying to think about an intelligence operating like that.
It really is. It pushes the limits of our own understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And this incredible speed and self-modification, it's not happening in a vacuum.
Okay.
Dr. Mike points out that these AIs will also be interacting with each other.
Ah, networked intelligence.
Exactly. He expects hundreds of models will emerge, maybe specializing in different things, vision, language, logic, like modules that interact.
Right, different parts of a brain, but distributed.
Kind of, yeah, but distributed and massively scalable. And this could drastically speed up development even more because different AIs could potentially teach each other things.
Okay, this is accelerating fast. But it brings up a huge issue, doesn't it? Something Dr. Mike flags as, well, a serious problem. Alignment.
The alignment problem, yes. Absolutely critical.
Once these things are self-prompting, self-modifying, thinking on their own, we just won't fully understand what's happening inside, will we? Or why they make the choices they do.
Precisely. And that's where alignment becomes so incredibly difficult. We're talking about trying to bake human values into something fundamentally alien and vastly smarter than us.
We have no playbook for that.
None at all. It's not just coding some ethics rules. It's this deep philosophical and practical challenge. How do you ensure something 10,000 times smarter than you stays safe, stays aligned with human goals, is even understandable?
Huge questions.
Massive.
Dr. Mike uses this really neat analogy to frame it, though. He says, if 2010, LeBron James joined your 7th grade basketball team.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I remember that part.
Would you still try to be the point guard?
Mm.
It's funny, but it makes a dead serious point about competence, doesn't it?
It really does. And the implication is key.
Yeah.
When something is that much more competent than you.
Radically more competent.
Right. The rational move isn't necessarily to try and control it. Maybe it's to learn from it, to let it guide you.
Which completely reframes how we might approach a superior intelligence. Not just as a tool, but maybe as a companion, a guide.
Exactly. A profound shift.
And building right on that, there's this prediction for 2030. That AI life coaches won't just be common, they'll be indispensable.
Yeah, imagine that. An advisor that's always on, always observing your routines, suggesting optimal schedules, decisions, even like career moves.
With superhuman insight.
This isn't just having a smarter planner. It could mean our whole way of learning, our education system might become, well, maybe obsolete.
If you have continuous, personalized, super intelligent guidance.
Why would you need traditional schooling in the same way? It could totally reshape how we gain knowledge and skills, moving from learning facts to maybe continuous self-optimization guided by this external mind.
Wow.
So the argument is maybe instead of resisting, we should think about how to embrace the guidance these systems could offer.
Which, connecting back to the big picture, suggests a total rethink of what being human means in a world getting smarter all the time.
A fundamental reevaluation, potentially.
So, given all these frankly startling developments, the core question Dr. Mike Israetel flips around is really provocative. It's not, how do we get to ASI?
No, he asks.
What's stopping it?
Right. And what's really compelling there is that, according to him, nothing fundamentally new needs to be invented.
Really? No new breakthroughs required?
Apparently not. It's more a matter of putting together the pieces we already have, or are very close to having.
Like what?
Well, large compute power, we've got that. Recursive memory, seems possible. Research into weight updates, self-adapting models like that. MIT work recently, it's happening now.
So the pieces are basically on the board already.
That's the argument. The pieces are there.
Yeah.
It's an assembly job, maybe?
Okay, let's try to recap the core ideas from this deep dive then. Dr. Mike Israetel is suggesting we're approaching a genuine phase shift in intelligence itself.
Yeah, a fundamental change.
It's almost like humanity might be developing a second brain, an external one, an external neocortex maybe. But hyperfast, networked, semi-autonomous.
That's a powerful image. And it's crucial to stress, again, this source suggests no huge new invention is needed. It's about bringing together these existing or near-existing elements.
Large compute, recursive memory, self-updating mechanisms.
Exactly. And that prediction about AI life coaches being indispensable by 2030, that certainly grounds it, makes it feel very near, doesn't it?
It really does. So, to leave you with something to think about, mull over Dr. Mike's reframing of the question, not how do we get there, but what's stopping it.
Yeah.
We really encourage you to chew on that. Think about what it means for your own understanding of the future. Intelligence, self-improvement, even mortality, perhaps. Because if this perspective holds water, a lot of our basic assumptions about those things might have an expiration date, maybe just 5 or 10 years out.
It's a sobering thought.
So what would it really mean for you to embrace guidance from an intelligence that's radically more competent? Like, really internalize that LeBron James analogy on your own team.
What does that look like in practice?
Exactly. Something pretty profound to think about, isn't it?